Or the one I hear all the time is even from realtors, anybody who goes by the house and they're like, oh, it's in bad shape. I'm like, that is so subjective. What does bad
Yep.
shape mean? Like, are
Yep.
we talking it needs a paint job, or are we talking there's mold all over in the house?
Yeah, exactly. Well, and see, that's the
Very
thing,
different things.
because with all the all the properties that I've bought and or looked at, right? And it's very subjective when it comes to bad shape, because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, there's some properties that I look at that somebody goes, that is 100% a turd. I'm thinking, oh my God, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'll buy that all day, every day.
Yeah, that's a nugget right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's shift gears here for a minute. When you're talking about your marketing, how do you market? What's your tricks and whatnot that you use? Are you using any kind of boot suites? Are you doing it manually? How are you doing your graphics? For those who you encourage those who are buying themselves to do marketing like they're doing now.
100%. Everybody should be 100% marketing, either, like looking at a deal that you're looking at, analyzing it, or passed on, right? Take that and put that up there. So I do several things. I use there's a program called Email Octopus. And so that helps with like the marketing and things like that out to like the banks and the hedge funds, hedge fund managers, to make that connection. But I also have a virtual assistant that works for me part-time. She's doing about 25 hours a week, and between 15 to 25 hours, depending on, what I have. So she'll do the marketing for me, where she'll post some of my graphics into LinkedIn, Facebook, and also on Twitter. I know there's a couple different programs like Hootsuite and things like that.
Are you doing the graphics? Is she doing the graphics?
I do a lot of the graphics, but I'm actually showing her how to do that. So, I'm just kind of giving her general ideas. And then I'm using, for the graphic program, I'm actually using canva.com.
Yeah.
It's a really good low cost tool.
I'm the same with you, right? You can get the free one, you can pay one,
Yep.
But they have some great utilities. You can push to different platforms.
Yeah.
I'm still learning a little about it, but I'm not playing too deep into it. So you did this for what's your reason for marketing? What's your goal that you're hoping for these marketing ads to get you?
It's connections, networking, networking with bank. I have a lot of bank managers and hedge funds, and then I also follow a lot of the bank managers and the big ones, and even, I guess mid, small to large, other note investors. So that way they can see what I'm doing, that I'm active in this space. And then the other thing is to have people approach me for private money, possibly loaning money to me to buy these assets. So, like I said, somebody's a buyer, seller, or funder, and so I'm always looking at it from that approach. I mean, case in point, I went to a RIA meeting just this past Wednesday night, and I hadn't been to a RIA meeting in God knows how long, and then it's a local chapter here, and I went, and they were talking about whether a commercial property is deal or no deal, and then but before that, people that you get up and you introduce yourself, and I got up and I said, hey, my name's Larry Hoffman. I buy non-secured notes. I also create lucrative deals to give people an above average return. If you need anything, if you want any more information, reach out, stop me before I leave. Oh. And so at the end of the thing, I had two people approach me about, one, understanding more about the note, but two, also possibly being a funding partner for me.
Yeah. Fantastic. That's
so
great.
It's all about networking. You just got to open your mouth and talk.
Open your mouth.
Yeah.
Open your mouth. You post on LinkedIn, you post on Facebook, Twitter. Where do you think is the best? If you had to pick one of the three, where is your best secret for those who are listening in or saying, I don't have the time to post this stuff? Where would you say the best place to start off? Where do you get the best connection with either funding, capital wise, or even that connection?
Yeah, I would say LinkedIn is like number one, and then definitely Facebook, because I on Facebook, I have friends and family seeing a lot of the things that I'm working on, and then they actually reach out to me as well about I guess being curious about what's going on, and then potentially being a private investor at some point in the future. But yeah, definitely LinkedIn is not is in my opinion is number one.
And that's for funding partners. That's for deals.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Are you feeling that this marketing has increased or decreased in the last, say, 6 months? Are you doing more of it, less of it? What are your feelings are?
Yeah, it's I'm doing more, and I actually need to do more, and that's why I'm gonna have my VA actually ramp it up a little bit more. I don't want to be like too in your face with it. I want to post more of the deals that I'm working on,
Sure.
more of the deals that I passed on, so that way people can actually see that that Larry is actually out there in the space looking at these deals,
Sure.
and he's making offers on these things.
Mm-hmm.
Have you got a deal passed to you that was just not normal, right? Like that crazy seller finance deal. Has any of those kind of crossed your path, or has it pretty much been that other investors' assets that they're trying to sell off to you? And have you gotten deals from these posts?
Oh, yeah. I've got several Facebook people that reach out to me, and a lot of the seller finance notes, and a lot of times they're just like newly originated.
Mhm.
Me personally, I like to see at least 3 months to 6 months of seasoning,
Sure.
and a little bit of a like 10 to 20% down on the down payment. I'm actually working on one that actually came from a Facebook post.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it's accepted, and so I'm just basically I was in the process of doing the due diligence, so I just need to get back with him and to basically finalize it.
That's great. That's great.
What other systems are you doing email wise, marketing wise? Are you doing email marketing as well?
When I do email marketing, I do, but what it is, it's strictly for the people that opted into my website. Now I hadn't, I got off of doing the weekly email every Monday morning. I would do I stopped like right after Christmas, and I just from Christmas up until about now, I've just been slammed. So and I need to, instead of doing the weekly, I'm going to go back to maybe just do it every couple weeks or something like that. And so I send out a email to my private lenders, letting them know. It's just basically like a kind of like a catch up, like I do things I do with my fiance or my kids. And then I have a deal or dud, and then I have a real estate section, and those are for my private lenders. But basically, I take that same information and then I do a LinkedIn newsletter. And I was sending that out every Wednesday. So I'm just going to switch it to either do it every Tuesday or every other Tuesday for both of them. And I'm telling you that marketing, the LinkedIn newsletter, and also the email marketing to my private lender list, it 100% works, because I'm constantly letting them know that, hey, I'm analyzing a deal. I'm here. And then they also get to see more of a personal side of me, with Joni, my fiance, or, my kids, that, I'm just not some fly by night, person. I want them to have a relationship with me, and just not the business.
Mm-hmm.
So you get these assets in, you're doing a lot of due diligence.
I do.
Do you have automation tools or systems behind the scenes to help you just juggle all this?
I am in the process of creating my own macro for Excel, right? Because 1 or 2 or 5 is pretty easy to analyze, but oftentimes, I'll look at tapes where they're, 30, 50, 100, and you whittle them down, and then, out of 100, maybe you whittle it down to, like, say 30. Well, 30, it takes a lot of time to do the due diligence on. So right now, I just have a very, very rudimentary Excel spreadsheet macro where it takes those assets and I got to format them into the right column, and it does all my due diligence for me. And so, and then the next thing that I'm going to do is there's still some manual automation that I have to do, is like go out, check the taxes, go out, check Pacer, see if they filed bankruptcy, look at the statute of limitations based off the length of the loan. So that way, because when somebody gives you like an unpaid principal balance and it hadn't been collected in like, 18 years, well, there's a statute of limitations on what you can actually collect. So that true UPB, or what they're saying, isn't what you're going to be able to collect on. So that, you got to figure out what you can collect on. Yeah. So there's little things that, like those things I still need to manually do, but I'm going to try to incorporate all of that into, I don't think I will be able to do that in this macro, but turning it into a like a web service type of thing where, it'll like scripts where it'll go out and do a lot of that. But yeah, right now it's a little bit of manual and a little bit of automation.